Hey video game fans, this is Matt back again for another Fallout First Timers Guide or playthrough. Some stuff's happened since last time. I I had run afoul of Caesar's Legion, and it was really going to interfere with my ability to do any kind of tutorials. So I basically jumped ahead a little bit. I went into Vegas. I cleared my reputation with Caesar, advanced the storyline quite a bit, did a bunch of side missions and stuff that I'm not going to show playthroughs for because they're all pretty much first timer friendly. I mean, you just follow the points and go. I mean, it's not. I've seen new players struggle with them, but for the most part, I think that you're going to be fine. So, catching back up to where I am now, I wanted to do a. After watching some people play this for the first time, some of the struggle. The game doesn't necessarily point you to everything that's available to you. There's a lot of open world aspects to just discovery, finding stuff and doing it. If you're a curious person, that's going to drive you for it. If you are going to be more mission focused and say, oh, I'm going to do the core mission and I'm just going to plow right through the game, well, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. And New Vegas is a large area with a lot of stuff in it. I mean the New Vegas area in the game. Now, I'm not talking about the video game itself. And I wanted to do a quick run through of Outer Vegas. The points of interest, things that you're going to want to know where they are outside of New Vegas, in the immediate area outside of New Vegas. And so I figured, well, let's start with where we came in. We ran across the ridge near Sloan, made a beeline to this building, which is the RepCon office, where they build. Well, they basically went from robots to rocket ships, and we won't get into all that. I will do a playthrough of the RepCon experience because there's some things in there you need to know. But one thing you don't want to you don't want to go in there at night. The ground floor has robots that are gatekeepers, and there's tours available, and you can only access the place during the daytime. The upper floors are always off limits. You're going to need to do some sneaky things to get in there. But here's the RepCon office. It is south of New Vegas. Look at my map here. So the New Vegas Strip is all up in there, and this is a point of interest that is more or less south. If you go off in that general direction, it's fairly dangerous. It's mostly empty spaces. We're going to end up over there, but we're going to start by going basically in a counterclockwise around the city, which is there off in the distance. Now, if you didn't use my little shortcut across the ridge at Sloan, then you're probably going to reach this area via the highways coming from the 188. And the highways will take you the split freeway here under an overpass. It's going to pass this little office building. This little place doesn't have a name. And if you come here this early in the game, or really, in your first approach, there isn't going to be anybody here. This is basically what you're going to find. Nothing. There is a mission once you get to a McCarran that's going to send you back here, and after you've triggered that, this place will have raiders on the rooftops. There'll be traps on the ground, and it has a whole mission dedicated to freeing it. But here, because we haven't triggered that thing yet, it's just nothing. Oh, I guess before I leave the RepCon area, there is a railroad depot behind it down here. There's some decent junk and small loot items in there. Feel free to loot that place. I'm going to point out several of those types of locations. Playground. As far as I know, there's nothing in this playground. Yeah. Little road, some junk buildings. I don't think there's anything in any of these junked buildings. If there is, then it's new to me. I don't know, maybe there is a ruined box or something. Feel free to explore. So this is a railroad overpass, which would never happen. You would never have a railroad drop off this sharply. That would be ridiculous. They would build a straight road and have the highway go over it, but whatever. In this general direction, you're going to find a little railroad depot. well, not a depot, but I don't know, a kind of track switch operator thing, area for them to get water. This is actually a Followers of the Apocalypse outpost up there, and there are people in there you can chat with. There's a hollowed out rock down below. If you go off in this general direction, there's Camp Golf. I'm not going to go there this trip, but that's where it's located from here. The 188 is right up there on the bridge overpass, kind of crossroads there, and Boulder is off in that general direction, and the dam. Up there is the, what is it, Black Mountain or something. That's where the there's a Nightkin outpost up there. It's an interesting little adventure too. But we're not going to go in that direction either because that's farther away than I wanted to travel. We're going to stick with just basically outer Vegas. So points of interest. If you're coming into Vegas from the 188, you're probably either going to be traveling along the railroad that goes through there or the highway that goes through here. Either way, they're going to converge in this general direction, and you're going to read this little outpost. Where you're going to find a couple of little merchants.
Welcome back to the Grub and Gulp.
The Grub and Gulp. This guy sells
See you
meat
later.
and gives you some general information about Vegas. These are the people that you meet coming into town. They can trade you goods, trade you money, trade you stuff that you might need for whatever you have. And they're going to meet you when you leave Vegas with nothing, and they'll get you some stuff to get you back to your camp or your, they set up shop here for a reason. You got NCR base over there at Camp Golf, as well as Hoover Dam in that direction. So they're getting NCR troopers coming through here all the time. And you got caravans coming from the 188 traveling back and forth between here and New Vegas. It all converges here. So this guy deals with meat. He's got his Brahmin here. And this lady deals with water. She'll get purified water that she got from the Lake Mead. Little campsite over here. I believe there was a Star bottle cap. I believe I picked that up, and there might be a magazine here too, and I think I already picked that up too. But there's also a campfire over here. This is really the most convenient campfire in this vicinity. There is a small hutch, a small little campsite not too far away from the 188, and I think it also has a campfire, but I can't remember for sure. If not, this might be the closest one in terms of your ability to do crafting and stuff like that. We've already been in this general direction, but I'm going to go ahead and ping this stuff on my map too. This is where we're going to wind around a little bit because there's stuff I want to show all up there, but I might as well hit the stuff that's south of Vegas first and work my way over there. Again, all this is a nice running distance, and it's safe. If you don't have Caesar's guys coming after you, there's no raiders down here. Everything that we visited so far is going to be 100% safe. This is Cassidy's wrecked caravan that was sacked. That's going to be quest important at some point if you go back there. Okay, now from this point, I do need to point out a few hot spots. I mentioned this in the previous video. This is an NCR. This is Camp McCarran, or they've turned the base into a nice little fort, and they have guys usually stationed up on the posts, but they also have transitions where they, go back to bed and other guards come up. They also have a few guards that are down here on the ground. This is as far as they go. They travel out this far and then they go back. There is I don't know, what are these fiends? Yeah, fiends, one of the tribal gangs, are located out here past this building cluster, and they'll get into a fight with them periodically. They will respawn, just like the NCR guys. Sometimes the fiends win, sometimes the NCR guys win, sometimes you show up in time to deal with them. It's going to be a recurring theme. That barn down there, there's a bunch of ants. I believe they're fire ants, and a nest there you can deal with. We can go ahead and interact with them. Oh, I forgot. These little things are going to be treasure locations. This is like real refuse piles that the ants have the left. Yes, they are fire ants. You can enter the fire ant mound, but all these things are searchable. Ant nectar is great. Fire ant nectar isn't. The fact that these are fire ants and there's regular ant nectar out here is a mistake on their part. It should be fire ant nectar that's located there, but fire ant nectar is not as useful. It doesn't give you a strength bonus. At least in my eyes, it's not as useful. Might as well loot the place while I'm here. I'm not going to go down into the ant den, but feel free. But as you can see, if you might have seen from up above, there's all sorts of little ant refuse piles out here. All of them are going to have little bits of loot in them. Some are worth taking, some aren't. And of course they killed some ramen. And these will have meat on them, maybe. Nope. Nope. They're rotting. That's a regular ant. Actually, I think I'm going to go over here next instead of finishing over there because of reasons. We'll come back over to these buildings in a bit. I'll show you what's up here. Hunter's Farm. So some geckos tried to take the place, and these guys are old NCR powder gangers. But they're not hostile to you. Fire gecko hide. Oh, they did kill one of them. Only one, it looks like. You don't want to travel any farther up that direction because that is where the death claws are located. Unless you really are confident in your abilities. Inside, I'm pretty sure the powder gangers they're only outside. They never come indoors. But somebody was using this place as a like an observation post. It said ranger, so they were probably forced out by these powder gangers. Yeah, no specific information, but look at this jackpot of caps. Star, 2 stars, 2-star caps, that's pretty cool. A bunch of empty bottles. Whoops. I did not want to take all of that. Oh, we're going to have to give. All right. Oh, we can't. Well, let's have to make do. Got plenty of alcohol, that'll keep me going.
You eyeballing me?
So that's this house. There's another one. Notice the death claws. Way too close for comfort as far as I'm concerned. This is a wrecked house. It's non-accessible. Stay away from that. Keep your distance from the death claws. Third house. This one is accessible. And this one has a bunch of guys at it. It's got a name. If you're collecting gnomes, there's a wrecked gnome. Whitaker Farmstead. Now this, more powder gangers. Another campfire you can access.
Never gets old when something blows up.
Inside the ranch. This is the one that actually has the little forward observation post. Read the letter. See, this, the other one is called the ranger location, and yet this is where the ranger is located. So I don't know if that was a mistake on their part or what, but obviously this was the ranger outpost, and the other one's called the ranger cabin, and it's not where the ranger lived. But who knows? Maybe they were operating both of them. Magazine. That goes back to the outside. Now these guys are living here. Might as well get the experience for unlocking it. Bam. Okay. Next POI, point of interest. Not going to go down here yet, but you might as well see what it is. There's a cave there. This is why I'm not going to end my route here, because there's a lot of raiders that I have not dealt with, and they basically hold most of the areas north of here. This old quarry is abandoned, and it's got nothing in it, but farther north is mostly just little pockets of raiders, and you want to stay away from them as much as possible. Mainly because there's quests that are related to them. Okay, and back to our building tour of the southern part of the new outer Vegas, I should say, area. Might as well ping this first. I mentioned this in the last one. There's a handful of buildings over here, just a couple. This one is one of them. The Basin Creek building. There's small loot in there, nothing major, but it is lootable. Feel free to clear it out. Again, your first trip to Vegas, there's nothing in there that's going to be a problem for you. You'll encounter some rad roaches, some giant ants, nothing you can't handle. And this is the other building that's similar to the last one, the Basin Creek. Small loot, nothing major, no real big threats, but basically if it's your first time into the Vegas area and you come up in here, go ahead and loot it. You might get a magazine or some caps or whatever. Then there's this abandoned warehouse. There's not much in there, but again, fully easily lootable. Back to the outer limits of McCarran. It's alright. Keep a steady buzz going and we'll be fine. It's good, because we're going to head to a few merchants. That guy's still got a bum leg. They keep sending him out on tour on his guard duty instead of getting him healed up. Okay. So this is another, like the area between the warehouse and the wall there. This is another area which will respawn in different frames. There are a bunch of raiders that come out of this building over there. When you enter this area, there might be a shootout. You might get there early before the shootout starts. So sometimes you'll get here after it's over. Sometimes the NCR troops will be victorious. Sometimes the raiders, the fiends, will be victorious. Sometimes you'll get here just in time to join in the fun. Clear out the ones that are up here like I did. I've already looted the stuff I wanted out of these guys. This is one of a handful of pump stations. This one is being held by by fiends, so if you go in there, expect some fiends to defend it. There are at least 3 of these. I know that there's one in the west, one in the east, and there's one in the northern area. But all of the buildings and stuff that are over there are being held by fiends. So keep clear. Continuing our tour. I think some of this I had previously used in my last one, but that wasn't an official. That was just happened to be what it was. I don't think there's anything in these buildings worth salvaging, ammo or otherwise. Yeah, there's pretty much just empty, ruined out buildings. Here's the entrance to McCarran, which the NCR has converted into a large fort. There are merchants in there. There are quests available in there. If this is your first time to Vegas, feel free to go in there and talk with everybody that you run into. I may or may not do a McCarran video. I'm not sure. You also want to come over here to the El Rey Motel. It was probably Del Rey at one time, but there's no D up there. And loot this place. There are there's one apartment on the ground floor, or hotel room, and there's 1, 2, 3, I think, up here. Oh god, it's just 2. So there's just 3 rooms in total. Go ahead and open them up. You're going to need some lock picking. There's scorpions in one of them. There's a junkie in another one, so there will be some opposition. But again, if this is your first time playing, nothing you won't be able to handle. It's just a quick, easy firefight. Again, do not go west of New Vegas. Those are areas you want to avoid on your first trip here. Okay, so we're circling McCarran, and in the process, we're going to come up to the sharecropper fields here. Sharecroppers are residents of Outer Vegas. NCR kind of manages the place, or at least does a protection detail. All of these, might as well go into one of them. I'll show you what they look like. It's just plants that are growing. Feel free to take them if you want, if you're looking for things for recipes. Water. Clean enough. There's also dirty water on there, but you don't want that. It's radioactive. That's basically what all these look like. And there's a bunch of them. They're just little greenhouses to supplement the fields that are growing out here. More scotch. I mean, to keep the temperatures down, they basically have refrigerators. I mean, it just cracks me up. You got the NCR flag up there. So this is all NCR stuff. There is a I think 1 quest here, maybe 2. There's some that are related to it. You're gonna have to come here and talk to some people, but some of the NCR, the locals aren't real happy with the NCR. And
is there something I can do?
Information. Okay, then you're back over into the Outer Vegas houses. Here's a merchant you won't be able to deal with. He's a Crimson Caravan trader. You can't trade with them.
Did you know the strip's all stirred up lately?
Most of the wrecked houses are exactly that. They're not accessible, they're wrecks. But a lot of them do have mailboxes you can loot. On the back side of McCarran, opposite from its entrance, there's this area, Office Park. This is another thing you want to ping on your map. Here's the entrance. It's easy to miss. I did not find this the first time I came here. The Aerotech Office Park. There's some quests that are related to inside of there. And some that are going to lead you outside of there that are pretty good quests. Again, for your first time in Vegas, they're very, very doable quests. They're not that hard. I recommend doing those. Again, try to get as many quests onto your list as possible and try to complete them as you're able. There are some big office buildings that are also inaccessible, and you will have these little NCR patrols wandering around. You won't even find any fiends or anybody out here. Outside of a handful of those Caesar attack squads, you really are safe in this general area. There's another little burning fire pit here, which acts as kind of like a rest post for the NCR patrols. There's no reason to leave this is beyond Outer Vegas. If you go between Outer Vegas and Camp Golf, there is some dangerous areas over there you probably want to avoid until you're ready for it. We're not going to cover that right now. So the Aerotech office point is the next thing to look at after McCarran. After that, here comes another one of those water pumps. I believe this is the east cistern, and then the water pump area is over here, I believe. Yep, the east pump station. Okay. Let's see. Let's take the bridges over and I'll show you some stuff. Again, this is the very fringe of the outer Vegas area that I want to cover. There are a handful of little bridges that cross these ravines. These are going to be important for a quest later on. You can approach them now and loot them if you want. If you don't, the stuff will still be here when you come back, because again, you're going to have a quest that's going to send you here, but you will find some bodies. Whether you loot them now or later doesn't matter. It's good stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and take the stuff now. Ash piles are the remains of radiated people or targets. This might be animals. Combat armor is pretty awesome. Don't forget that there's a dead Brahmin down here. They're also probably carrying something. Again, you're getting ahead of yourself if you're looting all this stuff or you're interacting with these locations at this point, because there's going to be a quest where you're going to have to find these things later. By pinging them now, it means you'll be able to fast travel to them later, saving you some time and aggravation, so don't feel bad about finding them early. But if you don't want to carry all this crap with you, no big deal. Not quite enough. Oh well. I was hoping I had enough strength to beef it up. Okay. Let's see. What can I do? Let's see if I have anything that I can combine. Yeah, it's not gonna help. Oh, about 20 pounds though. I'm going to come up with 20 pounds, but maybe oh, come on. Oh, you know what? He's carrying some miscellaneous junk I can dump. Fission battery, doesn't need that. Sensor module. Combined. Carry my rifle for now. Can't carry that, unfortunately. £10. £6 left. All right. All right. There's another bridge across the ravine. Bunch of houses. Again, you can see all the cluster of the little mailboxes here, fully, lootable. There are a few houses that have residents. Isaac lives there. The Hostetlers live there. I believe this one's abandoned. Yeah. Wrecked buildings. We'll come back to these in a sec. There is a caravan that routinely comes up through here past the Crimson Caravan, or into the Crimson Caravan, and then they'll pop back out and head back down, and basically go all the way to the 188 and all the way down to Novak before they turn around. Back and forth, back and forth. There's several different caravans. Again, there's more houses over there. I do believe all of those are wrecked. I think there might be one of them that has a resident in them. It's quest related. They'll send you there if you need to go there, so you don't have to worry about them. These wrecked buildings, I don't have anything in them. This is the next place I wanted to bring up. This is the Gun Runners. If you're playing with the Gun Runner expansion, you have the Gun Runner here, the Vendertron, and then there's the actual manufacturing area back there. And here's Isaac. He basically hangs out here during the day, walks back to his house, vice versa.
I don't handle buying and selling.
But he's got a quest thing with him as well. Learned some information about the Gun Runners. He's another person that'll play Caravan with you if you're interested in the card game.
Welcome, sir or madam.
This is the biggest reason
Do
why I
you
came
wish to
here.
purchase something?
So, this place is available 24 hours a day. And the GRA has good
Welcome, sir, or
weapons.
madam.
You'll find standard weapons in here. You'll find GRA specific weapons, ones that are designated with the GRA after them. Sometimes that's the only way you can find them. Sometimes you can find one or others. Like you can find an anti-material rifle, I believe, and an anti-material rifle with the GRA after it. Right here's a good example right here. There's the assault carbine, and then there's the assault carbine GRA. Statistically, base-wise, they're the same. But there are mods. Let's see if I can find out. I have one mod in here. Some mods are generic mods. They can be attached to anything. But some mods are GRA-specific mods. Or mods to weapons that are, I don't know. You'll find that certain mods are not going to be attached or attachable to certain versions of the weapon. And the GRA ones are the ones you want, because everything will work on them. Not everything is going to work on the base weapon. So knowing which ones, that's why occasionally I'll keep a weapon that doesn't have a GRA attachment. There is not a GRA version of every single base weapon in the game, so know that. Some of the revolvers and hunting weapons and stuff, they're not going to bother. They're pretty much into military grade stuff. And they also sell some unique named weapons, so keep this on your list of things. The Bozar is a unique weapon. The Esther is a unique weapon. That's a named version of a Fat Man, which does slightly different, as you can see. Extra, Gehenna is a unique named flaming, what do they call those? The little flaming sword things that you got in this. Hunting revolver, another one. Medicine stick is a unique named weapon. Sleepy Time is a unique named submachine gun. Two-Step Goodbye is a unique named Power Fist. So, and notice how expensive they are. If you're into completing your collections, you're going to have to get a lot of caps to buy these things because it's the only way you're going to get them. But if you're just wanting, if you have a particular type of weapon you like to use and you find a named version, that's the best one to get because they're basically going to be top-notch versions of that weapon. So if you really like if you're a melee weapon guy, Gehenna is a great weapon. It also has a quest or one of those little achievement things you can get with them as a holy weapon of sorts. Okay, so in addition to the weapons, they have apparel, great combat armor, higher versions of it. They've got a lot of mods. This is a great place to pick up mods. And some of them are relatively inexpensive. Some of them are really expensive. I'm not going to buy any right now because I'm going to use my money elsewhere. It's also a fantastic place to get ammo of all variety. And like I said, they're here 24 hours a day. So this is, of all the places I've listed so far, this is the one that you really want to make sure you ping it on your map on your first trip. Because if you're going to be venturing outside of Vegas a lot, doing, going out into vaults and things like that, and you're going to come back maybe depleted with ammo or needing of new weapons, or maybe you found a new weapon and these guys have a mod for you, you definitely want to come back here. Some wrecked buildings. As far as I know, there's really nothing out here worth getting, so that's usually why I don't even bother coming over here, but I'm just refreshing my memory, because like I said before, I have not played this game in several years, so I just wanted to reacquaint myself with my surroundings. And then we're back to the sharecropper farm again. Okay? Everybody caught up. That's most of the areas south and east of the New Vegas Strip. Now we're going to head to some of these other little interesting things. You're going to want to ping these as soon as you come to Vegas. Straight ahead is a fort. I think it was used to probably be a prison before. I'm not sure. That is the Crimson Caravan, which is kind of being responsible for pushing out some of the smaller independent caravans in the area, but you'll find that out through playing the game. Feel free to come in here. There's a bunkhouse, another bunkhouse, another bunkhouse, where people will reside, sleep. Actually, this one's not accessible. These two are accessible. This building and that one are accessible. That one and that one are closed off. There is a workbench. There are some plants you can find under the water tower, and you can find in and along the border in the corners and so forth. Campfire. This base is 100% safe. It's a good place to just, if you really just need to recollect yourself before you go back out again, feel free. Some dumpsters. This is the actual base for the thing, the main office. You can get some quests in there to do for the caravan. There's also a merchant here.
McLafferty's a hard boss, but she knows what she's doing.
If you're looking to buy or sell, you've come to the right man.
So Blake's going to be important.
Crimson Caravan.
He's going to be a merchant for some of the things you're going to need for some quests, so it's good to, ping him now. If you look through his inventory, as I always say, go ahead and pick up any playing cards. You can probably avoid, like the tops are like the base cards in the game, so I generally, the ones that don't have labels and the ones that are tops you could probably forget about, but I love the Gamora cards. Even though you can only ever have one of each of them. They're cheap enough, I don't really care if I buy 2 or 3 of the same one. Lucky 38s. Any of the ones for the other casino names are nice because they're just different. They look different than the default ones. But for now, I'm just going to buy all of them and not really think about it too hard. Some magazine. What is that? Stress of the Modern Refugee, a primer. Tiny, tiny babies. All you need to know about pediatric medicine. Those are things you're going to need for a future quest. If you buy them now, then you'll have them with you. If you don't buy them now, then you'll have to come back and talk to Blake and get them from him, and you'll have them. But if you have them, they don't weigh anything, so they're not going to take up any room in your inventory. So when the quest comes up, you can say, oh, you mean this magazine? This book? Oh, yeah, thank you. That's one thing I like about the Bethesda quests like this. Generally are friendly in that regard. Ooh, there we go. Let's see. I've been looking for some varmint upgrades. I have the extended mags, though. Oh, well. Service rifle, laser rifle, focus optics, grenade rifle, long barrel. Cowboy repeater, custom action. You know what? I don't want to spend this money. It's good stuff, though. Ordinarily, I snatch that up, but I have something else in mind for myself. And of course, ammo. He's got a lot of good stuff. Oh, crashed on me. We'll get this going quick. Happens. Older game designed for consoles being used on modern PCs. Yeah, it's going to have some issues. It crashes in areas that the console didn't crash for me. I usually had more problems with transition screens. Alright, so it sent me back to the last autosave. I still want to talk to this guy, though.
If you're looking to
I'm not going to worry about this buying stuff from him for now. I'll worry about that later. I want to sell some things to him to lighten my redonkulous inventory. Weapons that are, in my eyes, more or less junk at this point. Combat armor is decent armor. I mean, it has a lot of protection, but I can get more of it later. It's really heavy, so alright, cigarettes I don't need. Vision battery. More cigarettes. Sensor module. It's good for landmines, but right now I just want to lighten my load. So now I got a lot of money. Some questions. Okay. In there, you can talk to the head of the Crimson Caravan and get some quests. This is the back exit. It's just the opposite side of the same big square prison building. And behind it is the New Vegas Clinic. New Vegas Medical Clinic. This is something else you want to ping as soon as you are able, while you still have a lot of money available. Realize, if this is your first time to Vegas, in order to get on the New Vegas Strip, you either need to have 2,000 credits on you, 2,000 caps. They will check. It's basically a credit check, though. They want to make sure you have the ability to spend money at the casinos, otherwise they're going to keep you out. So it's not 2,000 you're going to spend, but you need to have 2,000 in order to step foot on the Strip. Otherwise, you need a passport. You can get a passport forged, or you can get a passport from the Kings, from the King specifically, by doing missions for them. So there are ways to get onto the Strip without having 2,000 caps. But the other thing, if you have a lot of money, this is someplace you're going to want to check out. Because in New Vegas, in Fallout New Vegas, the only way to increase your specials is by talking to Dr. Usanagi and having some surgery done. Now, what are specials? Strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck special. Those abilities are permanently that way with the exception of a few little quest things that can give you bonuses, and her.
Welcome to the New Vegas Medical Clinic. I'm a fully qualified physician and can fix whatever is wrong with you for a reasonable fee. If you've got the caps, I've also got several implants available to enhance your physical attributes. I have several basic implants available that can enhance your physical abilities, make you faster, smarter, stronger, that sort of thing. I've also got 2 much more expensive implants. One's a subdermal implant that will make you more resistant to damage. The other implant induces a mild regenerative effect. Your wounds will practically heal before your eyes.
So, I just let her explain it rather than me trying to explain it. Now,
Because you're a friend of the followers, I can give you a bit of a discount.
I did some missions for the followers, so yeah, that benefits. Membership has its privileges. So the cost to purchase these things is going to be a little less, which is nice. I want to pick up some magazines while I'm here. Should have 3. There we go. Today's physician. Now, implants.
One other thing I forgot to mention. Your body may be able to handle only a limited number of implants. The healthier you are, the more implants I'll be able to give you. Now, what surgery are you considering?
That is based on your endurance. If you have a really high endurance, you'll be able to get a lot of upgrades. If your endurance is relatively low, good luck. You're only going to be able to get a couple of them. So what do you want to improve? 1 more point and I'm at maximum luck. There are things that give me luck in this game, so I don't know if I want to increase that or not. I think there's a lucky coin that gets me up to 10. I love the regenerative ability. This one less thing. I'm playing on hardcore mode, and any way of gaining back health is good.
That's the Phoenix monocyte breeder. The implant speeds up cell regeneration, an effect similar to that of some lizards and sea creatures. The implant is very expensive, however.
Oof.
12,000 caps.
So, yeah. The standard ones,
I can implant the hypertrophy accelerator
cheaper.
for 4,000 caps. It will boost
But
your adrenal glands and quickly increase your muscle mass.
4,000 is not nothing. So, yes, I can afford it, but do I want it? That's the thing. My abilities are fairly neutral. My endurance sucks. If I get in, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to increase my endurance, that'll enable me to get more. Well, technically, the endurance will be using one of those that you would have gotten. It's only going to get you 1 more, and so increasing endurance basically just uses it up for itself. It's too late really to help my charisma or endurance. I know that if I find a lucky coin, that can go up to 10. My perception is already improved because I'm wearing a hat. It's actually at 6, so being the fact that it's at 7, perception is good to have. Intelligence, though, is going to get me a lot more skills. So I think I'm going to get an intelligence boost.
You're back. Because you're a friend.
Ugh.
For 4,000.
Here we go.
Have a seat in the auto dock. This will take a few hours.
Evening.
Intelligence 7. But you can't get it again. You only get 1 improvement. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to increase my intelligence 3 points with 3 different surgeries. Not possible.
You're back. All right.
She always tests
Let me
you
do a quick test
to make sure you
your
can
body
handle.
can handle another implant. All right. You're
But she never tells you exactly how many you can get. So I'll let you discover that on your own. We're going to continue on. So anyway, you wanted to get that place. I mentioned the caravans go back and forth. Well, there's also some bandits that will pop out of the sewer system from time to time and shoot at the caravanners. Again, sometimes caravanners win. Sometimes you'll find caravaner remains. You'll find them encountering in this area and in front of the entrance to the Crimson Caravan. Occasionally they'll pop up in the sewer that's right out front of there. I'm not going to give a tour of the sewers. That's not an area of my expertise. It's dark. There's good people down there, but there's also that one's inaccessible. But there are other ones in the area that are. Hey, another
Hey there.
merchant.
Need
More cards, more cards. More importantly, I'm looking for some upgrades. I don't see any what I'm looking for. Continuing our tour. So here is the one of the two entrances to Freeside. This is the east entrance. There's a north entrance as well. We'll get over there soon enough. The interstate came in through here, but it's all wrecked. There's a couple of other locations I want to ping over here. Well, not necessarily ping, but I want to draw to your attention. Inaccessible buildings. Blown out buildings. Most of them are just like this, nothing. There's the clinic again. Back over here behind the clinic, there's this little whack-a-mole area. Got the little mole rats here, and they got this mad Brahmin. The first time you visit this, I think it's called like whack-a-mole something or other because of all the moles. But anyway, it's just a contained area, nothing that you need to really worry about. Continuing on, more wrecked buildings. A little, again, nothing here. Another building. Nothing here. I wanted to show you what those look like because when you see one that actually has something, it will look different. I've already cleared this one out. There's no threats here, but there is a trigger. There's a tripwire. Actually, not there. There was a landmine by this door. I got rid of that. There is a 9-iron and a magazine on this bookshelf. Upstairs, you have a bed. Somebody was using this as an observation post. Back here, there is a tripwire in front of this door and a dangling grenade cluster, both of which you can disarm the trap and you can disarm the weapon to get the grenades out of it. If your lockpicking is strong enough, this is the major challenge early in the game. Because behind this locked door, there is a sniper rifle on this shelf, as well as some assorted good stuff. I think there might be a magazine, or I'm not sure. Med kit, some ammo. Oh, here's some magazines I missed. But anyway, this is your first opportunity most likely to get a sniper rifle. That's why I have a sniper rifle now and I don't have a hunting rifle anymore. It's not going to be in great shape. You're going to want to fix it up, but a sniper rifle is not nothing. And before we go back across the northern side, let's head out here a little bit. Again, we are pushing the limits of what is considered outer Vegas. We've kind of gone beyond that, but it's safe. Don't worry about it. There's a little campsite over here with some, I believe, some junkies. Or just wasteland wanderers, I don't know.
Must have delivered more than just mail. I keep hearing about some courier making a
Junkies.
fuss over the strip.
Notice what this looks like. This is
More than just
Nevada agave. It's just a tiny little thing. Go ahead and grab that. You can make purified or make cactus water out of that, I believe. Once you have enough of them and the right stuff. Little campsite here. Okay. Crossroads. Rail goes that way. Road goes that way. That rail will take you into some hostile area you want to avoid. So does this road. I'm going to show you how to get to the Boomers' territory at some point. This guy's going to give you a challenge.
Whoa there, pal. You better slow down. or you'll get blown up like the rest of the idiots who thought they'd scavenge in Boomer territory. Now that I've got your attention, might you be interested in a little information? It'll cost you, but it's well worth the investment. Whoa, simmer down. I'll tell you. I've made some cash from gambling and some cash from reclaiming goods that are no longer being used.
He's going to tell you about the boomers and the artillery. Have a little wager. If you have good barter skill, hey. I'm not going to do it now, but I will show you how to do it. There's a quick and easy way of getting to boomers without having to, lose all your limbs in the process. But continuing our little tour, that's going to be a future video. Another camp, another shack. There is a Sunset Star bottle cap. Pressure cooker if you're looking for a recipe that needs one. This is again the standard shack layout that they usually use when they don't have an expanded one. This one doesn't have the BB gun on it, but it has BBs. Some simple ammo, lockers with another straight blade. And if you're hard up for a place to live, this isn't the worst place in the world. Okay. Again, for the most part, all of this area is fairly safe for first-time visitors. You shouldn't feel like you're out in the wilds of the Mojave where you could be attacked by geckos and death claws and everything else. You're in relative safety here. Outside of a handful of raider camps you need to be aware of, and these mad Brahmin, which are far from the worst threat. And they're a good source of Brahmin meat. Eating mad Brahmin meat shouldn't have any harmful side effects, you wouldn't think. Nothing. So once you get to the north of the tracks area, again, plants, there's plenty of plants you can loot. Lots of cactus. Lots of little plant life. You have a Mojave home. It's quest tied, so if you want to leave it, that's fine. They'll send you here later on. But those are accessible if you want to break in. You can do that. These houses are not accessible. They're all boarded up. Another little shack. This is another one that is going to be quest tied. Yeah, this is Carlisle St. Clair's house. Currently empty. Just got some books, some good, some junk. Absolutely nothing here worth looting, though, is there? It's just junk. Not even a magazine. Kind of boring. But, you do what you can when you're a newcomer. So this isn't going to be entirely a tour. We're going to have a little bit of fun here before we get too much farther. We're going to have some combat. Saw you guys. Boink. Banana yucca. Okay. So, Those houses are inaccessible. That house, I believe, is inaccessible. That one is accessible, though. We're going to visit that. Some little valleys. These are accessible from down below, but I choose to use them this way. All right. If you're interested in traveling to Utah, this is where you can do that. You better have my shovel. Enter into the cave and you can learn about that. I think it's one of the more fun DLC quests. There's definitely things I don't like about it, but it has one of my favorite stories in the entire series. And it's going to have some slightly different fauna from what's available here in the Mojave. I'm hungry. Man, somebody's got a bunch of dead Brahmin. Oh, the fringes, the fringes. Got some exploring to do. We'll get back to that in a bit. I'm gonna have my little fun now. Let's see. What do I have that's decent long range? Where'd you go, Eddie? It's not in great shape. I'm going to put the hollow point in there. There we go. We are playing with the Weird Wasteland on here, and if you're playing with Weird Wasteland, we got ourselves a little alien spaceship up there, and look at those things. What are those? Tell me I got some steady. And Psycho. God dang it, would you stop locking on to Eddie? I'm just glad they didn't come all over at once. easier to loot them. Alien Blaster. That's your unique weapon for this game. Unfortunately, unlike in Fallout 3, where there's basically an infinite supply of alien power cells, this game has a relatively finite number of them. Which means playing without Weird Wasteland might get you a better weapon, or it has a big weapon. This thing is a little laser weapon, but it uses alien power cells. They give you a lot of them, but that's all you got. And here we are, overloaded again. I gotta throw some fixer on because I'm addicted again. And ant nectar for the extra strength. If you're not playing with Weird Wasteland, then there's going to be some really nasty raiders up here. Not raiders, but like mercenary bad dudes with good armor and a very powerful long-ranged weapon. And you'll have to deal with that. Yep, unfortunately you can't access the alien ship. I'm just going to go ahead and wait this stupid fixer out so you don't have to deal with that craziness. So, I just showed you how to get that thing fairly easily. It was nice that all three of them didn't rush you, because then they'd all be shooting laser weapons at you all at once. Man, oh, that's right, the ant nectar. That's right, we got plenty more. Alright, we need to finish up the northern tour here. I'm leaving us just with the stuff that's to the west. So this place has been overrun. Rotting corpses, not worth looting. That place is not accessible. Jackals, different gang. Yeah, that's gonna suck. Just being irradiated like that. Okay. This is a decent little loot opportunity. Again, a chance to get some experience. Man, this verschnickety. There we go. Little campfire. Steak. Cacti. Healing powder. Is that clean? Nope, dirty water. Fresh produce. Non-accessible house. Oh, nope, this one is accessible. That's part of the reason why I don't like having followers, is they have a knack for standing in doorways. Oh. Not much there. Yep. Whoop. Nothing at that little shack, and this place is not accessible. Okay. Must be the next house over. It's the one that has the outside. He didn't replace that, did he? This one's not accessible. Huh. That's weird. I wonder if they replaced one of these houses. Because one of these... Again, I'm coming from playing this on the Xbox, and on the Xbox, one of these houses was partially destroyed and open. And none of these are. These are all closed off. That's weird. Because I thought it was the one there by that little shack that we went in, but was not an open... God dang it. Jesus, I'm tired of this. Oh, Eddie, I'm tired of you being overloaded too. Great, now I'm addicted to that. I'm wondering if they replaced the little building. That, or it gets replaced after a quest gets triggered. Because my memory of this one had a blown out corner on it. You could actually jump in and out of the house from the outside, but I don't know, unless there's another one further down the road that I'm not seeing. There should be some coyotes out here. Oh, maybe it's that house. Because it wasn't appearing on the distance, that might have been why I was a little off. Yeah, this is the house I thought it was. See, corners are all blown out. You can jump inside the house without opening the door. Whatever, I don't need these stupid Nuka-Cola trucks. I also want to dump. Ooh, fixer. I'm going to need that. I already looked in there. Electronics, Patriot Cookbook. Decent stuff. Okay. I'm going to circle back, so I might as well do these fringes. Harowitz Farmstead. Horowitz Farms. Be careful here, there are landmines. Well, I didn't hit any. Looked out, I guess. Or maybe it's this span over there. Oh, I already gave him all my ammo for this, didn't I? Shoot. I'm trying to think of what would be a good weapon. I picked up a bunch of unique weapons. I'm doing some quests between Novak and... Don't. There's the star. Oh, here we go. I did not want to do that. Hey, more desert salad. Eddie. I'm really getting tired of that. Should have been closer. God dang it. That was a waste. That really ticks me off. I know that there is a setting to turn that off so you're not locking on to your allies. And you're only locking on to things that are in your visual range, but I don't know why it's not in the settings for this. I don't know. It's very irritating. Because I usually use my lock-on ability to just detect if anything's in my area. Claude! Oh, I thought these were raiders. Forgot there were Cazadors out here. As you can see, I can handle myself against Cazadors now. Leveled up enough. There's more out there. Nothing here. Good place to fight the Cazadors, because they can't get up here. Just as a strategy. I know there's more landmines out there. Oh well. I'm going to continue my little far-flung tour here. A few more action segments. I was not expecting cazadors. I forgot there's cazadors at that farm. This is another fun little encounter. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but if you want to encounter this on yourself, you can just skip ahead. Brooks Tumbleweed Ranch. What happened to this poor guy? I don't know. I don't know why this one's considered stealing. And the person who owns this is probably dead. Yes, I know a med pack. Well, I guess I can get it maybe. Yes. I was just gonna leave it, but some people can't let that go. Oh, do nothing there. A tumbleweed. What's a tumbleweed doing in here? Hey, tumbleweeds in bed. Tumbleweeds are everywhere. Tumbleweeds have taken over this little farmstead. Maybe they're aliens. Another book.
You want to buy Wind Brahmin?
Wind Brahmin.
Tumble what's? Crazy with low prices on Wind Brahmin? You buy one. All. They are very good Wind Brahmin. All caps. You not buy, then you die.
Spent all my caps buying tumbleweed. Woof. Rebar club if you really want a very heavy club. And that's all there is from the crazy tumbleweed salesman. Continuing our little far-flung tour here. I did not intend to go this far away from Vegas, but since we're out here, might as well show you this too. Wreckage, which you can't go beyond. Might be out of ant nectar. Oh, got one more left. Yep, invisible wall. Nothing here, not even any loot. But it is the end of the road. I haven't been on the other side. I have been out in the wilds beyond the invisible wall. On the Xbox version anyway, I found there's a few spots where you can slip through the crack in the wall. It's not easy to come back in though. Once you're out there, you might be out there for good. Okay, just another POI. Basically, if you take this road up into the mountain, it will take you up to the resort. Need that a little later. Some interesting things there. It winds its way back around. believe the yeah, one of the safe houses is located up here. I believe this is the Followers of Apocalypse safe house. Is available up in this hillside. I haven't pointed any of those out to you so far. The Legion is located not too far away from the drive-in theater at Novak. It's in that general southern vicinity. If you do enough good things for the followers, they'll give you a key to this place. Shoot, I gave my shovel back, didn't I? Another rooftop in case you get into a firefight. You need to back yourselves into it. Anyway, that's one of the safe houses. There's an NCR Ranger safe house located not too far away from where we came out from the fight with, or the fleet across the ridge from the Deathclaws. It's in a very Deathclaw infested area, so that's not a nice place to be. There are Cazadors located in this little valley over here. Be aware of that. We're heading back to the third sacked caravan location, which is important for a quest later on. Griffin Wares. No. There we go. Anything I can fix? No. Okay, now we're going to head back into the northern New Vegas area, away from the fringe. Live with electricity and nothing else. Alright, there's the house that's got the corners blasted out of it. Alright, we got a few more areas I need to show you. Again, if you're a first timer, you might not have adventured this far out into the far-flungs. I will say that you shouldn't take on those aliens or their non-alien versions, the raiders that are out there, the bandits, unless you have a very good long-range weapon. I think there's 4 or 5 of those raider guys that are there, so, and they're, like I said, heavily armored and weaponed. And on a firefight, they could take you out, especially if you're not on a very high level. I am finally out of nectar, which means I'm going to be moving slow. Another point of interest is this location. It's the Wind's hideout. Important for a quest relating to Prim. If you need to know where that's at, this is where it's at. Just north of west side, I believe it's called, or is it north side? Whatever it is. Oh, man. Wish I was a little farther along, because I'm not too far away from that's a 9-pound piece of junk. Drop that. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of extra. Yeah, it's 9 pounds of Cazador glands I don't need. Oop, to 49 star caps, that's good. I don't eat roach meat. Ugh, just the thought of that shivers me. Alright. Huh. Dumpster, dresser. Okay. Here's H&H. This is where House came from. House and his brother ran this tool and die factory before they had a falling out. North Vegas Square. This is one of the 2 doors to North Vegas Square. You'll probably use the other one. Hey, look, a bunch of Vegas signs used as a wall. It won't be the first time you'll see something similar to that. This block. Old storefront. Bath. Dresser. Again, if you're hard up for a place to spend the night, there are places you can hole up in. And brown steaks off. Here's the north entrance to New Vegas, which is just around the corner from the western entrance to the Crimson Caravan. There's always a group of King's guys that are kind of hanging out over there. So you go out of there, there's this little mailbox, and here's the other entrance to North Vegas Square. There's not much here. Again, ruined buildings. This guy's good for some quests. I'm actually on one of them right now. This guy, you can talk, and you can, if you win a couple of challenges with his conversation, if I had the gun skill, I can get past that. Let's see if I have that. I picked up a ton of magazines. I'm sure I have a gun one now. Didn't have one the last time I was here, so I had to give up on it. Oh, I still don't have a gun book or magazine. No, it's have to wait. You have the Gray, which is this big hotel apartment complex thing, which there's not really anything in there. I just looted the place out, and there's absolutely nothing in there worth getting. I was hoping there'd be some magazines or something, but nope. So that's North Vegas Square. Damn grenade. Almost out of med bags. Again, you will find some dressers that'll have some clothing in them. Since I showed you where the other 2 were, I might as well show you this one too. Since I couldn't remember if it was north or west or what it was called. The South Cistern. Okay, so it's not a pump, but it's a cistern. The NCR's got some guys in there. Nope. Some sewer grates are accessible, some are not. Good place to dump a body if you have a need. That's my last stake. Got some bad guys up here. I want to make sure I can move. There's entrance to the Thorn. I don't use this very often. I just wanted to use up some of the ammo. That was weird. I'm going to go ahead and loot everything off these two guys because we're going to go someplace where I can sell them. Nailed my limb again. Okay. Hydra. Alright, those guys are farther away. So this is actually two locations here. There's the Thorn, which is down below, which is there's a fighting arena down there. You can bet on monsters fighting monsters or raiders or anything else that they want to throw in there, or you can take a go yourself. They're not open 24 hours a day. You can get in there, but it's not the stuff you need is mostly going to go on during the daytime. And then there's West Side, another enclosed area. So you got Free Side. You have the north square, and then you have over here. And the West Side has its own little stuff going on. They're an independent group, so they're not affiliated with the NCR, and they're not tied to the families of New Vegas, and they're not connected to the Fiends or the Scorpions or the Vipers or any of the Raiders.
Howdy. Name's Bob, but folks around here call me Klamath Bob. What can I do you for?
Because you have a big mouth. He can give you information about the area, including the local Fiends and Scorpions. There's a super mutant walking around out there. You can get info on him. Otherwise, there are 3 merchants in this in Free Side here, or West Side. This guy deals in general merchandise. Buy a few things and hopefully sell some stuff that's causing me issues. Okay. I know I'm carrying way too much ammo. It's the reason why I'm always overweight, but it's the stuff I don't want to get rid of. So I gotta find other things to part with. There's probably some food items I could get rid of too. Armor. While I'm thinking about it, I'll switch over to Benny's suit because he's got a barter and speech bonus.
Hey, stranger. Hope you've been...
Okay, weapons. around freely for a little bit, but I need to get Eddie. So that's one merchant. There's a little garden over here. Nope, still overweight.
Howdy.
Do I not have any? Yeah, I got Benny's suit. I already killed Benny. Here's the little super mutant wanderer, a mean son of a bitch.
Hi.
Feel free to talk to him. He's a good guy. Doesn't say much. Kind of got a messed up speech. Here's another little one, a little shack. Fresh produce here at West Side Co-op. As expected, he sells
Hi there.
produce.
Welcome to the West Side Co-op.
This is
I'm
the
Clayton
most...
Etienne. Let me know if you have any questions.
He's absolutely monotonal. I can't read him at all. He's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's the voice actor, or if it's the writing, or if it's just his animation, but
Well, I've lived in Nevada all my life. Started
anyway. So all that produce they're growing out there, this is the guy that buys and sells the stuff. So he's got a lot of fresh produce, which you can use to make some things. He's also got a few magazines. Pick those up.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Let's see. I'm done using that gun. Actually, you know what? I'm going to sell that gun. And the packs. What the heck? Alright, what else do I want you to carry? Eddie. Shovel. Okay.
Welcome back. How can I?
Alright. I want to buy all of this fresh stuff. At least that stuff. Because it's not easy to find anything that says fresh in front of it. But then I want to get rid of all the processed crap. And the crunchy meat fruit, because it's not used in any recipes that I can remember. Sure, get the dirty water. Mantis that I'm not going to eat. Junk food. Maize. Pork and beans. Most of my purified water.
Give me a shout if you need anything else.
Okay. In addition to the 3 stores, kind of like North Vegas Square, there's a little hotel apartment complex. This one's going to be important, though. This one actually has some stuff worth looting in it. Casa Madrid Apartments. Can leave it for now. Trade, buy, sell.
I keep hearing about some courier making a fuss over at the strip.
Jude is important on a quest later. Then there's Miguel's pawn shop. Miguel's got a little more weapons and stuff than the other.
If you're down on
places
your
do.
luck and need some caps, I buy just about anything.
He's also got a ammo crafting thing here. Now, his selection of stuff isn't quite amazing. Well, if you look, quality isn't good. Almost everything he's got's in bad shape. So, I mean, he's a pawn shop. What do you expect? Nothing unique, but who knows? Maybe you're looking for a 44 Magnum. Well, he's got several of them for sale. He also sells a good selection of armor, but again, it's in pretty lousy shape. Not one of these is better than 50%. And he's got an assortment of junk. Nothing you want to buy, probably, but as long as he's got the caps, and he's got ammo, as long as he's got the caps, you'll buy what you got. You'll buy what you got. Lighten my load by dumping some of this excess ammo. Can always find more.
Give me a shout if you need it. Until
I should be moving speedily now. Crafting. And that's West Side.
Hey there.
West Side also has multiple entrances besides the one we went, but we saw that it was near the Thorn. There's also this, which takes us back out to the west side of the Outer Vegas area. They have this fortified area in here. Some more gardens you could loot or steal from. This is just another encampment area. There's the Thorn entrance over there. Now, as far as a first-time comer to New Vegas, that about ends the tour. Everything south of here is hostile. That apartment complex there, hotel converted into an apartment complex, I believe, that's held by the Scorpions. The Scorpions have been held in check by the other area gangs. That's the only place you're going to find Scorpions. They'll send their guys up to that Thorn entrance every once in a while and get shot down. But other than that, they're all located there. Feel free to go in there and clear them out, but expect some fights. There are several houses like these along this west side. The houses themselves, I believe, there's only one of them that's accessible, and that's across right over there. That one or the next one down. Some of them do have mailboxes, and there are some campsites and some stuff out there as well. Not a lot of great loot dealing with the hostile Scorpions. You can kill the Scorpions on the outside without triggering anything on the inside. So, yeah, that thing's booby trapped. You can rearm it if you want. You can go into the house, there's loot in there, but when you come out, you will be jumped. Spoiler alert. Okay. This is the last little good area, and the one more location that I want to show you, and you want to get this pinged on your map. Anyway, before we get there, there's all these blown out houses. There's a whole block of blown out houses, but there are a lot of mailboxes. Mailboxes mean magazines. it is worth your time and effort to run around and find every one of these to see if there's any magazines. As far as other loot, don't expect much. These blown out houses don't have much, if anything. Notice some of the mailboxes are on the ground. One there. Empty. Odds are you're probably only going to come into this area once or twice for the whole game, so... Did I already do this one? I might have already done that one. Yeah, it's the shot glass. One more street. Oop, there's raiders over there. Stay away from them. There's just a couple of things I want to show at this point going forward. One, we've come full circuit. The areas that are south of here are the same areas I mentioned before. The wrecked high-rise buildings that are all infested with different raiders. You don't, as a first-time player, you're not going to need to know where any of that stuff is until later in the game when you're more experienced anyway. But this location you're going to want to know. This is the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters. There are ways you can get here sneakily, crossing the area on the south side of Vegas. There's a highway that runs along here. I'll show you where that's at. But you don't really want to come from that general direction because there's so many bad guys out there. I'm not going to take you into the sarsaparilla. There's some robots in there that aren't going to be kind to your presence. But that isn't, if you're doing the Sunset Star Sarsaparilla thingy, I might as well show you what that is. See, there is red blips on here. As long as you don't venture into the place, you should be okay. I got way more of those than I need. Magazine. Whoops. No, that's just the robot getting antsy. Right here.
Howdy, partner. Welcome to the headquarters of the Sunset Sarsaparilla Company. Wrangle up a stool and listen to old Festus jaw a while. If you and old Festus are old pals, say a command now. Otherwise, say, pleased to meet you, and we'll get acquainted. Or, if you have more important things to do than talk to old Festus, say goodbye.
Anyway, if you're really interested on completing that quest, this is where you're going to go, talk to him, do all the conversation things. He'll give you some information. He's the one you're going to have to talk to when you decide to turn in your caps. I'm not turning in my caps until I got all 100 of them. You can turn them in as you go, though, but then you got to remember in your head how many you've collected and how many you've deposited. Speaking of, I was going to check this. That's still there. I want to put the Nuka-Cola on the other one so I'll start using those up too. Alright. So that's where that's located. Back to the blown out buildings. Again, most of these are just what they appear to be. Nothing but blown out crap. But there is one here you're going to want. Well, if you're really interested, there's something here. The Gambler. Strip letter 7. Again, if you're interested in finding all these different locations, I'm not the person to ask. I've found them all before, but it is a fancy gambler suit as well if you're interested in a dabbler hat. Plus, notice that this gun was not in his inventory. 357 pistol. Strip letter. Gangsters at the tops cheated him. He spent all the money. Came out here and offed himself. Anyway, that's going to circle back around to go back there. We're not going in that direction. Ooh, I got buff out too. I forgot about that. That's also a good way of getting +2, but I don't need it right now. Okay, this highway, busted up highway. Again, this is probably the safest route to use if you really want to get over to the bottle cap, or the bottling facility. You can either go down below or hug the outer wall of New Vegas. But you do want to avoid going over there because this entire area over there is fiend territory. And it's not that you can't kill the fiends, it's just, it's just one area after another. There's several of them. You're going to have an opportunity to clear them out. I recommend waiting until you get the quests to do it. And if you want the quests to do it, go to McCarran. Talk around to the people in there. They'll give you the quest. But that's it. If you really want to get over to there, you just basically follow the wall. Make sure this wall's on your right. Stay on this side of the freeway. And then make your way over to the big bottle. And you're there. And I think that does it. That's everything that there is to see in the outer Vegas area. This was a lot longer video than I intended it to be, but there's a lot of stuff to cover. If you're not a new player, you know all this stuff anyway, but if you're a new person, you may not know where all these locations are and realize that most of this area that we covered was safe, and there's just a few little hot spots, and I mentioned what those were. So I think that's where we're going to call it. Stay tuned for more content coming.